There we go. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. Good morning. I don't know what time it is. Good evening, and welcome to SAFRL Season 5, Round 3. And we're at Monte Carlo, Tier 2 on a Wednesday night. Already some action out on track. Some guys getting out of the pits really early. I'm not alone today. I have a co-commentator.
Good evening, good evening.
This is Sean. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Well, I'm the co-owner of SAFRL, and I'm just giving a bash at commentating, just helping out and keeping Fernando a bit of company here tonight.
So now getting into qualifying, we have quite an even split of cars that have decided to stay in the pits and cars that have decided to get out there. No dramatic weather that I know of. Seems like your car was retired from the session there, Sean.
I forgot to come in as spectator. What a noob move, bro. Anyway,
that may be problematic.
Let's move on from this situation.
So, track getting really busy. Obviously, Monte Carlo, 3.3 kilometers, very narrow circuit. You want to get out there, do your qualifying lap.
So we got a couple of drivers here on out lap, getting out nice and early.
You can carry on for a minute if you don't mind, Sean. I just have to listen to a voice note.
Alright, not a problem, my friend. Just trying to see who's going to be on the hot lap first. Sitting on E. Muller, looks like he's going through a nice lap. I think he's on his hot lap.
There we go, I am back, sorry about that.
We've got E. Muller sitting here in sector 2. Giving quite nice, decent, clean corners here. And there's sector 3 now.
Fastest lap of the night so far.
Exit.
There we go, lap time starting to come in. Pantry Star P2.
Coming across, E. Muller P2. Very nice clean lap there. Oh, that is very, very close to Mr. Big T.
Pantry Star went second within 11.8, but ever so briefly he was immediately beaten by Muller 11.5. And now Loki goes to the top of the field 11.4. Times keep coming down as the session goes on, and I'm sure they will come down even more in their second stint.
These top 4 are looking very, very close. This is making for a very good race.
Obviously, from the race that happened on Monday night, very difficult circuit to pass. We had wish I could remember everybody's PSN now, but basically we had a car in second place that was, he was clearly faster than the car in first, and the car held him there, like, frustratingly for about 15 laps. And when he did get past, he opened up a gap like it was nothing, but it just shows you how difficult it is to get past here. DRS is pretty much useless at this circuit. You get it right here on what they call the main straight, that isn't technically straight, and by the time your DRS really starts to have effect, it's time to turn. So just the one DRS zone, and it's not very long.
I think I had a very, very close race. Actually, Mr. E. Moller commentated that race. It was also in a tier 2, and I decided to start on softs. I went up against Mr. Afrodox, very quick driver, and he started on mediums. I got ahead of him on the pull away, and basically all it comes down to on this circuit is how clean you're entering the corners and how quickly you can get back on the power coming out of the corner. And as long as you know that makes all the difference. That's where you make all your tenths and half tenths and everything else like that.
I think it's all about, yeah, it's like, it's sometimes you're trying to get into the corner as fast as you can, brake as late as you can, and sometimes it's really about the exit. It's about stability and traction. And obviously using all of the racetrack, you'll see how close some of these guys get to the barriers.
Yeah, you have to be so precise on the circuit.
While we were talking, pole position has changed. That has now gone to It's free.
Well done, sir. Yeah, I think some of these guys are going to have to catch a bit of a wake up if they want to start getting close to It's free. That's a pretty good time that this gentleman has set out there.
It's in a bit of a different league at the moment. The only one in the 110s. Nearest lap time a 1:11.4.
Yeah, it's almost a whole second away. But Mr. True Loki has definitely got some pace. It's Mr. E. Moller. I assume Mr. Big T's also got a bit of pace in him.
The two Red Bulls. One has retired and the other hasn't set a lap time. Still waiting for lap times from Top Gun. Can you help me with P14? How do I pronounce that?
I guess Tally Boy. Yeah, Tally Boy.
And then we won't mention who's in P15 there. And then, what is that? I can hear myself in the background. That's not good. What is that? Rakwa. And then Ruben and Nuclear Monkey. Mr. M, P11, 115.9. New Avenger, P10. Got a whole smattering of cars in the 111s. Really close there from 2nd to 5th. Still waiting for a bunch of cars to do lap times. We've got, it appears like 19, but I believe it's 18 cars will start the race. Almost a full grid tonight. Let's see, let's try identify who's missing teammates. Okay, an AlphaTauri is missing. Okay, yeah, and then, so it's one Mercedes and one AlphaTauri.
I just want to say hello to all our viewers. Shailin, Peter Dutoy. What's up, Mr. Dutoy? We're waiting for you to come race with us again. Mr. JD, how are you guys all doing?
The guys in the comment section, if anybody's brave enough, willing, give us a pole prediction. Is this going to be pole position, a 110.795, or are we going to see something faster, and how much faster? And if you're willing to add a name to that lap time, why not? Give us your predictions. Who's going to take pole position?
So if we're looking in the comment section, Mr. Dutoy has put a comment in there. This track has had some iconic fat asses in the past. He's referring to my race with Mr. Dark Fox. that was an insane race. I wish we actually streamed that one on what's it, Twitch. So, you know, you've only got the 14 day where it saves for 14 days, and yeah, we should have actually done that one on YouTube itself, but yeah, it was unfortunate.
And Monaco is obviously a very iconic venue and a track that's very easy to make a mistake on. So
It can be
retirements
very
are
exciting. I predict some overtakes coming just through this tunnel, just on the outside of this tunnel.
I don't know what was my favorite Monaco Grand Prix. It was 1996. 4 cars finished the race. 3 of them on the lead lap. So the one guy that was not on the podium was 2 laps behind. Yeah, that's right. It was what was his name now? He was a French driver. Oliver Panis. It was his one and only victory.
I think Rubens Barrichello also had an iconic race on Monaco, was it not? I may be it may stand to be corrected.
Schumacher was a favourite, yeah.
Yes.
But when he did have his mistakes and when he did have his retirements, Barrichello was a fantastic teammate, and he could use that. He could use that Ferrari, which is not so much as I can say for certain teammates at the moment that have top machinery. I don't want to say anything.
Let's not mention any names. We might.
I don't mention names, but if you're a fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's like Morse code. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We ride with the Alpine chums. Seems like he's on an in-lap.
As we were talking a couple of minutes ago, we had Mr. Ruben almost eating the wall of turn 1. That would have been very unfortunate.
Look at the gap between the McLaren teammates. Nothing in at P2, P3. 0.2 of a second between the teammates.
That is very, very close.
Nuclear Monkey.
We've
in
still
the pits
got
without...
Mr. It's Free, who is untouchable. I mean, look at that time difference.
1098. He's actually improved on that, did he not?
Yes, he
did. Improved on that. I think that was a 109.895. So he's found, well, what is that? 15 thousandths of a second improvement. Obviously 5.5 minutes remaining, so most of the cars will have another run.
So we got Mr. Dutoy on the chat saying P1 will be It's Free because I'm not there. Well, Mr. Dutoy, maybe you should come and show them how. I mean, you know, nothing's stopping you except the equipment you don't have anymore.
Exactly. I think I think you need to jump in the cockpit.
100%.
That's how you prove things. It's in the cockpit. So far, Alfa Romeo leads, well, as I was about to say, leads to McLaren's. We have Alfa Romeo P1 and we have an Alfa Romeo P3. Pantry Star 11-1 slots himself onto the second row. And another change. Big T 110.7.
Fernando.
P2.
So I've got somebody in the chat here. Midas is saying that tier 1 pole was 109.6.
That's yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a bit of a problem here.
I think there's a bit of an issue here. We have like a top tier soccer club playing in Division 3. It's like, come now. He's doing tier 1 lap times. So pole position 109.8, next best time 110.7. Free leads by 0.9 of a second. Is he going to go out and improve and make it a second? Pantry Star, he did that lap that briefly put him up into P3. He was demoted to P4, 11-1. Nothing in it between him and the Williams. 5 thousandths.
Black Viper's mentioning something about interviews after the race. I'm just responding to that management is in talks about that at the moment, Black Viper. They are strongly, I can say myself, strongly considering that. I think that would be an awesome addition to the streams.
What is like a top 3 podium interview or?
Yes, so post-race interviews kind of thing, and just so they can hear how the race went, you know, from a viewer kind of perspective. I think that would be a great addition.
We were speaking of, will he come out and try and improve yet again? And yes, he is. He's on an out lap. Actually, he's just started his fast lap. It's free. Goes around turn 1. start yet another fast lap. Previous best 109.880. Next best 10.7. It's up for the rest of the field, up to the rest of the field, to close that gap. If he can sustain that.
M now looks like he's having a pretty nice warm-up lap. If he can keep that consistency up, I think he might just be able to do something, yeah, hopefully.
If it's Faree's pace translates to race pace, everybody's going to have to hope for a safety car every few laps to reel him back in.
They're going to have a massive problem.
It seems that way.
Problem.
If he can translate that to race pace and get a second a lap, well, there we go, John just hitting the wall there on the outside while trying to improve. Don't know if he will improve or if that hindered his lap. Let's see, where is It's Faree? He's dived into the pits, obviously was not going to improve. We'll ride with Mr. M.
1 minute 50 seconds left in the session.
Heading down around the hairpin towards, getting lower and lower towards the tunnel. You see, that is Hotel Monaco. Can only imagine what a room would cost there on the F1 weekend. You should see what they've done with Vegas now, Sean. If you thought you could book yourself a fancy hotel room on the Vegas Strip and, you know, you get to watch the F1, you don't have to buy the ticket. Well, F1 has now come in and said each of these hotels has to pay a levy per person in the hotel. Otherwise, they will put advertising up that blocks the view from the hotel.
That's when I start burning tires in the middle of Monaco. I am telling you, sir.
Big T is on an outlap for one last go. There's 50 seconds on the clock. Luckily, it's a short lap, so he should be able to get around for that last run. Pantry Star also on a final run, currently P4, looking to improve and get into the 110s.
Oh, Mr. M, I was just going to say he's getting so nice and close to the corners, and he spun out.
There is a wheel in the track,
5, I think.
but that's not his wheel. But there is a wheel on my screen for some reason in the middle of the track, and he loses a bit of his end plate just to rub salt into the wounds.
On elimination, we're looking at Bart Bliksem, Dentist Skull, obviously.
Just the one quali.
And
just the one session.
Oh, we're just having the one session?
Yeah, we're just having the one session, just the 18 minutes. And then we're off into the race. So, I'm not going to read out the results just yet. I like to wait for the official results. Sometimes penalties come in and make me look silly. So we'll wait for the official results. But if that remains the same, it's Faree, Big T and Mr. M. And something that's interesting there, Sean, is there's only one driver in the 110s. It's Faree's in the 109s and third place is in the 111s. So Big T, the only driver in the 110s, covering that whole second of a lap.
Very big pace. I think.
Watch Loki, Sean. Watch Loki. He's gone purple in sector 2. He's going around the final corner onto the main straight. Can he improve? 11.2.
Oh, that's a good exit. That's a good exit.
P6. 11.2.
That is going to be 110.7.
Nicely done. Becomes the second man in the 110s.
You know, it's all going to come down to the pull away of the top 3 right now.
And turn 1 here can be a bit messy because guys know how difficult it is to pass, and into turn 1 is probably your best opportunity to make up positions, and guys get a bit greedy on lap 1, hang around the outside for a bit too long, and hopefully we don't get any drama. I think if I'm not mistaken, it might have been 2, it might have been 3, but we had 2 or 3 safety cars on Monday night, and I believe 2 virtuals.
Well, I'm hoping we can get some good flow now tonight, and yeah, I'm pretty excited for this race. I think it's going to be a tight one.
There are your qualifying results. It's Faree takes pole position with a 109.8, only man in the 109s tonight. Then we've got Big T P2, Loki P3, Mr. M P4, Pantry Star P5. Then P6, we have John 7, Moller 8. Is it Tylee Boy? That's going to take me a while. Then 9th we have Chums, 10th Top Gun. I almost thought that was Raikkonen for a second. Rakwa, I'm not sure how to say that. And then we have P12 Ruben Kratos in P13, Akmagozi P14, New Avenger P15, Bard Blixum 16, and then we have Nuclear Monkey and Maggot not setting lap times. Luckily I got all those names in just before the countdown.
Just before.
Obviously now this is round 3 of season 5, Monte Carlo, 50% distance race, so approximately 150 kilometers. We now look at an empty pit lane.
I don't know how I can retire. I'm going to have to...
You're probably going to have to do one lap, go into the pits and retire. Like before they stop you, like while you're in the pit entry, you retire. And then they will just park your car and you won't ghost around for the remainder of the lap.
I think as the race starts, if I pause, I do believe that my car will ghost. So at least...
Okay, well then if it's ghosting, it shouldn't be...
Oh, well, I'm at the back end anyway, so it doesn't matter. I just don't want to affect anybody's race, yeah. I think it's going to be a super exciting race.
Speaking of the undercut, obviously we saw a lot of that on Monday night. 5 red lights. As soon as they go off, we will be underway. It's going to be Haas versus Alfa Romeo into turn 1. Ferrari power versus Ferrari power with 2 McLarens right behind them. And it looks pretty clean through turn 1. We have a Red Bull at the back that seems like it's crawling a little bit. Might have taken the wall on the inside. We have a Aston Martin that is stranded on the grid. He now gets going. Not sure what happened there, but there we go, he gets going now. Maybe he wasn't at his accelerator at the time the race began. At the front, it's Ferrari leads by just over half a second. Loki P3.
Few overtakes here at 9, 10 and 11. There's a bit of a scuffle going on there.
We have a scuffle between the Haas, the Alpine, the Mercedes and a whole bunch of other cars behind them. Things like this can get really messy. If the guy in front just makes a mistake, it can cause a multiple car incident. We have a Ferrari also ghosting around at the back. Let's just get confirmation on who that is. I believe that is Akmagozi that is ghosting in the Ferrari. At the front, it's Ferrari. We have someone else ghosting. Who is that? I thought someone was ghosting, but it's not. Big T, P2, almost a second.
Top Gun into the pits. And Rock Boa. I think I'm saying that right.
Can only be for some sort of damage on lap 1. Looking at your tyre situation, your P1, P2 on a set of mediums, P3, P4 on a set of hards, and P5, Mr. Rem, the only man on track on a set of softs. Then as for the rest of the field, it's a pretty even split between hards and mediums. So different strategies at play, but remember, just one safety car, and as I say,
oh my goodness, you as the commentator's curse.
Probably been doing this a little too long. But virtual safety car, at least it's not a full safety car. Just a virtual safety car. It's going to neutralize the race. Everybody has to do an average speed and stay within their delta. And whatever you do, don't get going before you're supposed to. On Monday night we saw 2 penalties for speeding under safety car. Commentator's curse indeed. It's free, leads the way, DRS enabled, there we go, back under green flag. Big T's not going to get DRS, neither is Loki. Almost everybody breaking out of DRS immediately. That virtual safety car kind of separated the field a little bit. We have a battle for 4th, Mr. Rem.
So we've got Midas talking on the chat, talking about the undercut is massive on Monaco. which I 100% agree with, especially if we've got our top three this close. I mean, an undercut, once you time your pit 100% to the tee, it's going to be a massive advantage for you.
We saw the effects of undercuts on Monday night, and I think strategy is obviously extremely important, but around a track like Monaco, you've always got to have it in the back of your mind that a safety car could be around the corner. Personally, I wouldn't start on the softer compound expecting a safety car. If you start on that soft and the safety car comes out on lap 2, do you get rid of that entire stint? Do you drop the tyre? So I'd rather start on the hard and hold on to track position, especially around a track like Monte Carlo. So it's going to be interesting to see what the guys on hards do, how far they go into the race, and how long the softs last.
It could be an arguable point because, I mean, it's always a risk you take, right? I mean, because I started on softs in P2. Obviously, I could have fallen to like P12.
Ooh, we've got an incident. I think that is going to be just a virtual, but Tylee boy, big oversteer on coming out of the corner, got on the power,
and he's got a DNF.
Straight into the Armco barrier. Luckily his car just amazingly disappeared from our screens, so no need for a full safety car.
And we got a drive-through for Bart Bliksem.
Bart Bliksem gets a drive-through penalty. That must be for speeding in the pit lane or speeding under safety car, one of the two. Drive-through penalty. These are speeding under virtual safety car. Again, that is a second one, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen that message twice. Let's just bring up your penalties. It just says drive-through. I don't know if he's got two, but I did see that message twice for Bart Bliksem. And now I'm seeing a three-corner.
Oh, goodness.
I think this is what happens sometimes. The guy gets one penalty, he gets another, then he just gets frustrated. And yeah. At the front, it's Faree, Big T, and Loki. Those are your top three. Pantry, P4. He's starting to fall adrift from the top three. Mr. MP5. He's got the advantage, or I was going to say he had the advantage. He had the set of softs and was giving Pantry Star all sorts of problems, but now he's sort of fallen adrift from the car ahead of him.
Margosi and Bart Bliksem serving their drive-throughs at the moment.
Now we must just
Bart
watch.
Having one behind.
Let's just watch Bart Bliksem when he has served that penalty, if it still says drive-through, because I'm almost certain I saw that message twice.
Yeah, there is still a drive-through on his name,
so then
I think he does have two, yes.
He has to do it again. And remember, if you need to serve a drive-through, you cannot do so under safety car. They will pit you.
Correct.
We have a front wing change for Nuclear Monkey, Alpha Tauri. Just the one Alpha Tauri tonight, and he finds himself in P16. It's Faree leads. Good night so far for McLaren and Alfa Romeo.
What has happened with John Hannes?
We're looking at where he is. There we go. He's fallen down the order.
Yep.
P11.
Top Gun just got an overtake on him.
If you look at his tyres, he has only 2 laps on those medium tyres. Well, now it's 3, but that suggests he did make a pit stop, because we're on lap 6. So he has made a pit stop, and that's probably why he's down the order. Akmagozi, used to seeing him in an Aston Martin or a Mercedes, but he's in the very different colour scheme of Ferrari tonight.
Got Rakboa attacking Bart Bliksem at the moment in Sector 1.
Red Bull versus Ferrari. Is he able to get past? Remember, the car ahead of him does have mediums, should have the superior traction coming out of the corner, should be able to hold him off for now. But the softer compounds will obviously fall off first, and that's when these hards will come into their own. So close through the tunnel.
Oh my goodness, and he gets the oh, and that's a
It's
bit of
a bit of a corner that I wonder, didn't see any penalty pop up, but I'm almost sure he got a warning. It's for he still leads. Big TP2, and Bart Blixen continues to add to the collection there of penalties.
Rockbauer gets the pass on him. I would not call it the cleanest pass, but I mean, a pass is a pass, I guess.
The other Williams on the night is Muller. He's in P6. He chose to start on a set of hard tyres. It's going to be interesting to see as the race pans out, who got it right. Was it starting on medium, starting on hards? What was the right decision? And we haven't seen any full course safety cars. And I think that can definitely have a very big impact on the race if safety car just happens to come out round about the time you were going to pit anyway. Can bring you from the bottom of the field right back into this race. But for now, no safety car, clean racing, lap 8 of 39. Long way to go. Loki.
We've got a Mercedes-Benz out.
Of a Mercedes-Benz
safety car.
Safety car.
Oh,
I probably shouldn't have spoken about the safety car, but at this point, it's just bound to happen.
Is this now the start of the end?
This is how it starts. It starts with one safety car, and then it just gets worse. We're down to 4 retirements.
Rockbauer just planted into turn 1.
I'm actually having a look. I can't see him. Where is he? There he is. He's got no front wing remaining.
Yeah, he just absolutely missed his braking zone completely and just planted the left side of his wing into turn 1.
Riding with him now. He also just took a bit of Armco on the outside. It's going to be, it's even more difficult to get around this track when you don't have a front wing.
Absolutely.
So if you try and go a bit too quick, you're just going to run wide and hit barriers all the way home. So you are under safety car. You might as well take it easy. Get back to the pits, get that car fixed, then join the back of the queue and have another go.
I must say his race is not over, seeing as there is a safety car. Everybody's going to be diving in. So I guess all he can do is hope for another safety car.
Speaking of diving in, your leader and P2 have both gone into the pits, and what I believe they were on mediums, so they've got rid of their mediums, they've got onto hards. Surely you can't do 30 laps on hards. Nobody's intending on finishing this race on a new set of hards, do you think? 30 laps? I don't think so. Surely they have to pit again. That means Loki and Pantry Star that did start on hards have taken track position. They are now P1, P2. But how long can they stay there? Four retirements so far. Lap 9. New Avenger. Tyler Boy. Maggot. It's actually 3 retirements from the drivers who started. Now Loki, he's going to be in charge at the restart. He's probably already thinking ahead of time, thinking of that restart.
So as we were talking earlier, we were talking about taking risk on Monaco. You were talking about the softs, they can work, but you're going to have to dive into the pits early, or there's a safety car on lap 3 or whatever the case is. At the end of the day, I have seen risk being taken, and sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't.
Guys in the comment section, you must understand that when I speak about racing, I'm speaking from the perspective of somebody who is at the rear of the midfield at best. So that's why I say, from my perspective, I would be towards the back of this field. So I would start on the hard, hope for a safety car, get track position, and basically you find yourself towards the front on a track that's difficult to overtake. And if you can stay out of the barriers, you can get a good result.
I'm sure you're a little bit better than the back of the midfield.
Depends on what track we're at. If we're, I'd say if we're in Canada, Austria, Brazil, or France or Portugal, then I'm somewhat competitive. But anything that resembles a street track, Baku, Monaco, Singapore, it's a mess.
Speaking from personal experience now, I made a thing, a personal thing to get good at Monaco. It's not the track I enjoy the most, but I am quite good at it, like from race experience now. But can I say I enjoy it? Not so much.
Every track is really, once you get an understanding of the track and how you should be braking, how you should be turning, how you should be accelerating, where it's okay to push the limits and where it's definitely not. And the more laps you do, the more familiar you become with the circuit, the more you can extract from it and have confidence in it.
100% agreed.
You can use more of the track, you can get closer to the barriers. In fact, there was a story of Ayrton Senna where he went out in qualifying and he was the favorite to take pole. And he went out and did his final run and he hit the barrier. And everyone was shocked. Senna hit the barrier at Monte Carlo. And he got back to the pits and his engineer told him, Ayrton, what was that? What happened? And his answer was, the barrier moved. So
the barrier moved.
Everyone had a good laugh, and Senna wasn't impressed that they were all laughing at him. So they basically got in a medical car and they drove to that corner. And basically what had happened was, the previous day in qualifying, a car had nicked that barrier, and when they put the barrier back, the barrier was 5 millimeters inside the track where it shouldn't have been, and he nicked that barrier. He would have missed it if it was where it was supposed to be. So they told him, how could you hit the barrier? And he's like, the barrier wasn't supposed to be there, the barrier moved. And he was right, down to 5 millimeters.
Oh, wow.
So that is using all of the track. Back at the restart, Loki leads the way from It's Free, but how much longer?
We actually had a pass, It's Free, past Pantry Star on between turn 2 and 3, I believe.
Wonder if that was a bit of teammate letting the faster driver go through. It's Free. He's led a majority of this race. Now he's P2 and he wants that position back from Loki.
Loki is going to have a lot of pressure on him now, Fernando. Extreme amount of pressure.
Remember, It's Free, 3-lap old hards. Loki, 11-lap old hards. That will come into play.
I guess he decided to skip the pit stop just to get track position, because he understands just how important it is. Because he knows It's Free is going to have to stop again, but I guess Loki is going to have to stop before, so also a bit of risk and mind play, I guess, going on there.
Look at the horse right on the back of Pantry Star now. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong. There we go. The horse on the back of... Yes, it is the horse on the back of Pantry Star. I was just looking at the wrong Alfa Romeo. Big T also pushing. Big T in a similar position to It's Free, actually in the same position as It's Free. They pitted on the same lap. Both have 4-lap old hards.
Oh, Free got a much better exit than Loki. He's gaining on him.
It would have to be something insane through the tunnel. He doesn't go side by side.
That's too much for a dive bomb.
Stays behind him for now. Just thinks better of it.
Another better exit.
Long race to go.
Ooh.
And if you keep the pressure on those aging hards, the mistake will come. You just need to be close enough to capitalize on the mistake and not close enough to run into it.
Here comes something in Sector 1, I believe. Could exit there.
What's happening now is the more these battle, the more the McLaren defends. It's now bringing the Haas into the equation. Big T joining the back of this queue. And I think we could have a second Alfa Romeo and possibly a second McLaren. As part of this battle shortly, we could have a 5-way DRS battle.
Running through the penalties, up Margosi in P11. He just served his drive-through. We've got a 5-second penalty for Mr. M. We've got an 8-second penalty for Rakboa. And 9 seconds for corner cutting on Bart Blixen.
That is on lap 14 of 39, so we haven't even reached halfway distance. Long way to go in this race. It's Ferrari. Could have gone for a move or two already, but has decided to not do anything too insane. He knows that McLaren needs to pit ahead of him, and if he just keeps on applying the pressure, surely.
So we've got Mr. M putting a lot of pressure on Pantry Star with his 5-second penalty. Pantry Star with the lockup.
It's
there's an overtake, I think, on Ferrari.
Big defense, aggressive defense.
Big T gets past and he loses the position.
Oh
my goodness.
Led ever so briefly, but Loki, steadfast defense.
Oh, safety car. Ooh,
and this is where things get interesting. This is where things get interesting. Now Loki and Pantry Star, they've got those aging hards. I think they will come into the pits. But what are you going to put on? Another set of hards and finish the race? Well, we have a safety car. The comment section has gone extremely quiet, so leave a comment, let us know you're still watching, and obviously leave a like on the channel.
So if I was Ferrari right now, I would duck into the pits, get a fresh set of hards, and go right to the end. That is exactly, I don't know, that is what I would do. I think that would probably, sitting in P3 right now, you don't want to really go for track position now, because I think you're definitely going to need to pit again.
The guys that will definitely be pitting is there 7, 8 and 9. They're on pretty old mediums.
So if he decided to stay out, I think that will be a vital error from his side.
Depending how far he can take those hards, and crucially, Big T and It's Ferrari, they have that exact same strategy. Pitted on the same lap, got hards in the same lap, both 7 laps old, no difference.
I guess they're looking to go to the end on these hards.
I think these two are very much playing the same game, and I'm almost certain if It's Ferrari had pitted, or Big T had pitted, they would have copied each other. The one stayed out because the other one stayed out.
Yeah. Definitely mind games going on there.
McLaren's having a good result.
Whoever's getting fresh hards on now is definitely, I think in the last, let's say 8 laps, is definitely going to have a massive advantage.
Loki also in a good position. He was obviously leading the race and then chose to pit. He came out in 4th place, and now he's going to get compressed back into the queue, so he's going to get a free pit stop and just lose 3 positions really. It's also going to be crucial at the end of the race as we see these penalties racking up on the right hand side of your screen. If we do have a safety car late on in the race and you have penalties all over the place, it tends to drop you very far down the field. So you want to keep it clean.
So I'm just going to run through the tires quickly. Mr. M also deciding not to duck in. He's on his 8 lap old mediums. True Loki, new mediums. Pantry, new mediums. Moller, new mediums. Chums on 5 lap old mediums. Top Gun, new mediums. John Hannes on new hards. That could put him in a pretty good spot. Jumping from 9th. Up Margosi, 7 lap old mediums. Krytos, new mediums. Ruben, 10 lap old mediums. Rakboa, 8-lap-old hards, and their nuclear monkey 3-lap mediums.
Here we go, that is your field of 14. Bart Bliksem is your latest retirement, and we're under safety car for the second time this Wednesday night. See, the channel is quite busy, so thanks to everyone who is watching, everyone who's joined us. We don't usually do a live stream on a Wednesday night, but it's good to see that there is support, and maybe we can do this again next week. I'm getting deja vu of being at this track twice in 3 days.
So Midas is saying on the chat, with our race, a safety car came out at lap 13, not sure, and we boxed for hards and went to the end. So it could be possible. I mean, Big T and SAFRL could have done their math, could have done their practice, done their homework, and possibly they could have quite a bit of life at the end.
If they're just racing each other, there won't be an advantage. You know, they're on the same tire, but if those medium runners can manage to get past in the early stages, well, that's what they need to do. If you're on the softer compound, you need to get out front and open a gap. If you're not doing that, you might as well be on the hard. Is that a penalty for John? That is a penalty.
My prediction, there we go. True Loki missed the M swap positions, as I was just gonna predict that, and I think True Loki is gonna put massive pressure with the new grip that he has.
Yes, those 2-lap-old mediums, and I'm sure his teammate knows he needs to make the most of those mediums while they're fresh. Lets his teammate go by, and he's already all over the back of an Aston Martin. It's
SAFRL trying to get those hards very warm at the moment. Trying to do a bit of tactical lockups and spins out of the corner just to warm those tires. Oh, and Loki almost getting through there, making tiny, but...
Here we go. Haas from Alfa Romeo from 2 McLarens, but where is the Haas? It's Big T. He's actually got a nice, I wouldn't say it's a big lead, but a bit of comfort. And it's for E and P2. He has no comfort. He's coming under heavy pressure from Loki in the McLaren faster compound. And remember, this will only be for a short period of time. Those mediums will lose their advantage. So he needs to make the most of it now and clear that Alfa Romeo. For the other Alfa Romeo, he's in a battle of his own. He's in a battle with a McLaren, Mr. M. Also a situation where the man behind has fresher tyres. Lots of battles out on track. Top Gun versus John, P7, P8. Williams versus Haas.
John Hunter's sitting with a 3-second penalty, so he's going to have to make a lot. Oh, and he gives Top Gun a tap. That might be investigated.
Obviously, all investigations take place after the race. Thank goodness. No FIA here trying to make live decisions, because that doesn't usually work out well. Do you know over 100 laps were deleted from Qatar?
From Qatar on race day now?
Yeah, over the practice sessions and qualifying.
Oh wow!
Over 100 laps were deleted. And the only man on the night not to get a corner cut warning of any kind it was Lewis Hamilton, because he didn't make it through turn 1.
The GOAT.
I'm a commentator, but I'm basically the opposite of Sky. So enjoy.
Me too. Don't you worry.
I think me and Ted Kravitz would have a few arguments. Alfa Romeo all over the back of the horse now. There's a fight for the lead, and Loki's part of it. The top three really close together. Enjoying the co-commentary. It's good to hear you enjoying the co-commentary. I think Sean's going to be with me for another few rounds.
Yeah, well, at least the next 4 weeks, boys.
He's going to be with me for the next few rounds because he's recovering from an injury. We won't ask how the injury happened. Big team still leading from its Ferrari. Half a second is the gap, and the McLaren has not let go of that gap. Under a second covers the top three. 8/10 of a second covers your top three. Something has to give. Loki's at the back of those three cars, and he's got the freshest set of tyres and the softest compound. Ooh, Alfa Romeo getting out of shape on the exit, almost taking a bit of barrier, but gets a hold of things just in time.
It's Ferrari making a bit of gains on Mr. Big T. Making a lot of gains. Let's see if he can put the pressure on where it counts. Like I said previously, this track takes so much accuracy. Let's see, coming out of the tunnel, it's Ferrari with his acceleration out, and oh, Big T is just too good in that section.
We're riding actually on board with Loki, and he's just a little bit away from these top two, so we're getting a great view of P1 and P2. And every now and then the McLaren gets really close. When these two sort of hold themselves up, he just catches up again, falls like a second behind, and then catches up again due to their battling. Ooh, and the Alfa Romeo again, 2 laps in a row, just getting out of shape on the exit and almost taking a bit of barrier. Maybe I'm saying he's getting out of shape.
Sector 1.
And that's his driving style, maybe. Mr. M into Sandevo and up Rivage towards Casino. What a famous circuit, one of the only circuits on the calendar to be basically exactly the same as it was initially when it joined the calendar. The only difference then was there were no Armco barriers, just haystacks. And drivers didn't wear helmets. Do you know when Formula One began? You know when seatbelts became enforced in Formula One?
Yeah.
In 1972. Until then.
1972.
Until then, so it started in the 50s. Until then, you didn't have to have seatbelts. If the driver preference was no seatbelts, well, there was no seatbelts. That's why Gilles Villeneuve, father of Jacques Villeneuve, when he had his fatal accident, he was found 70 meters from the car. The car flipped and flung him from the car. There was nothing holding him to the car.
I was listening, I don't know if anybody's listened to those Spotify podcasts. I can't remember exactly what the name of it is now, but so they were, Jackie Stewart was talking on one of the podcasts, and he was talking about if you went onto the gravel or you made contact with another car back in those days, you weren't going to survive that accident.
I know, it was absolutely insane. And you know, with it being the pinnacle of motorsport and everything being a prototype, and obviously back then they were trying this and trying that, and this metal is lighter than that metal, let's try this.
Yep.
And there was an era of Formula One that lasted probably a decade where these cars were suicide. They were literally made, the chassis were made out of magnesium. So when the thing ignited, you got this extremely white, extremely hot flame, and several drivers died from smoke inhalation from not getting out of the car fast enough. Could have been the situation for Grosjean not so long ago.
I was just going to say that horse driver, I couldn't think of his name now, Grosjean. I mean, let the olden day drivers try and picture that kind of accident.
Oh, that was insane, the way he jumped through the flames, and he was in there for so long. I wasn't being positive at that point.
No.
Loki P3 still just keeping a safe distance from the two in front of him.
Got 16 lap old putting pressure on Mr. M. And then just behind him, Moller putting pressure on Pantry.
Williams running line astern, 6 and 7. Pantry Star coming under pressure from Moller. Mr. Rem under pressure from Pantry Star.
And then look at Mr. John Hannes. What did I say about his new tyres?
Got a new set of tyres and using them to their full capabilities. Just have a look at the position changes. Not much in the form of position changes. Big T started P2, he's now P1. Isfari started in pole and he's P2, so swap of positions there. Third, fourth and fifth are where they started. Moller and John have swapped positions. Chums has made up a position. Then Kratos 4 positions. Akmagozi 3 positions. And Nuclear Monkey, well, he's made up the most positions of the night. He's made up 5 positions. Started in P19. The front still no change. Just highlighting the fact of how difficult it is to get past you. If this was any other track with 2 or 3 long DRS zones, this move would have already been done.
It's Fari really struggling behind Big T, and it's not going to help his situation because they both, as you said earlier, on the same life old tires.
They're on exactly the same strategy, and we saw in qualifying that Isfari has phenomenal pace, but if he's stuck behind the pass, he can't use that pace to his advantage. So he's just probably sitting there a little bit frustrated, waiting for the mistake that does not seem to come. Lap 27 of 39, we're reaching the latter stages of the race.
Mr. Big T coming up to some blue flags.
Everyone in the field has made their pit stops. Some of them have made multiple pit stops. The most pit stops on the night goes to AlphaTauri. 5 pit stops for Nuclear Monkey.
Just want to give a shout out to Thijs and Yaku. Thank you for the compliments for the comms.
Definitely thanks to everybody who is watching. I usually watch the comment section a little bit closer, but I know Sean's watching the comment section, so
I'm here, my brother. I'm here.
Not paying as much attention to it as I usually do. But I have a co-commentator tonight, so giving him a bit of work.
I have to do something, right?
E. Moller on the back now of Pantry Star. 8/10 of a second. Oh, there we go. He's going to go past the Ferrari. A Ferrari was coming out of the pits. Seems like that was Atmagozi being lapped.
It's Fari doing absolutely everything he can to get past Mr. Big T. Mr. Big T giving a bit of lock up on the hairpin.
This is where the problems come in, is when you've been behind for a couple of laps and the frustration starts to set in and you start making moves you wouldn't usually make. And sometimes just that lapse in concentration is enough for you to find the Armco.
Another lock up on the chicane. I think all Mr. Itzfari needs to do here is just keep the pressure on. Big T doing a lot of lockups, and he just needs to let Big T eat all that tire life. Another lockup, and Itzfari not doing any lockups, and eventually all those lockups will take their toll.
Definitely, if you're just sitting behind and basically just driving behind in single file and keeping it clean and not putting too much into your tires while the guy in front of you is doing everything he can to defend. He's braking late, he's turning sharply and taking everything out of those tires. So surely Big T's tires will fall away probably 2 or 3 laps earlier than the Alfa Romeo, and then the pendulum could swing in the other direction. It's free, he will want the win. Saw his dominance in qualifying. Wonder if he's just playing the long game. Doesn't seem to be attacking as much as he was. Just half a second. There we go. Now as I say that, he gets close again, but won't make the move. Just stays behind.
Mr. E. Moller falling slightly behind Pantry Star.
Virtual safety car. Virtual safety car. Remember, it's just a virtual. 5-second penalty. Speeding in the pit lane for It's Free. And that is going to... That's definitely going to...
make a huge impact.
Play a
that
part
is 100%.
in the final result of this race. It's Free. Speeding.
Tucking into the pits.
Means he's going to get a 5-second penalty.
John Hannes into P2.
Remember, he is on 16 lap old hards, but Big T is on 21 lap old hards, so there's some evidence that those tyres can go much further.
Can we get a little bit of something happening in the chat, guys?
Comment section really dead. See a whole bunch of people are watching, and we only have 4 likes on the video, so hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Let's grow the channel. Let's get more of you watching on a Wednesday and on a Monday night. Hit subscribe, hit like, and obviously leave some comments in there. What's your prediction? What's the podium prediction? What order will the top 3 be in on lap 39 of 39? Will it stay like this, or is there still lots and lots to come?
So far I can see the Williams scoring massive points tonight.
Great job, P2, P4.
E. Moller has basically been carrying the Williams team. John Hannes passing E. Moller as we're speaking. And this will be a massive score. Massive score.
Now Loki
for the Williams.
Fighting for position. Williams holds on to it. Moller holds on to it. Loki tried to get around the outside of turn 1. Didn't quite work out. Ran out of road.
Very aggressive driving this. Let's see if it pays off.
Both of these cars are on softs. McLaren versus Williams. Both on a brand new set of soft tyres.
Tapping Moller just slightly.
If you're going to tap, you got to keep those taps very soft. You lose a wing in Monaco at this stage of the race, and you're going to have quite a relative drop down the field. Again, the McLaren, we're actually looking on from the front wing, and you can see how close he gets to the rear tyres of that Williams.
Coming out of the tunnel. That was very marginal opportunity. Oh,
it's Free. Fastest lap of the race, showing his intentions. Now, his race has just got a whole lot more difficult, because not only does he need to catch up to Big T, he needs to pass him, and he needs to open up a 5-second gap if he intends to win this race.
Mr. M gets past Pantry. Just gets a much better exit than Mr. Pantry.
One of the few times that DRS is useful on this circuit. He was able to make the most of it.
I apologize, he never got past Mr. Pantry, it was past Chums.
It's Free, that gap is coming down so quickly. It was 13 seconds, it's now 9.4 seconds. So he's got a bit of free air, just lapped cars in front of him. They're obviously coasting, so it's like having a free track in front of you. Only 2 laps on those mediums and only 6 laps remaining, so he can really throw everything at those mediums. Doesn't have to worry about conserving tires at this stage. 8.7 seconds, 8.6. We'll keep an eye on that gap. But the Williams team, they can be really happy with this result if things remain the same. Has Loki now slightly dropped off Moller? Seems that way. Does he have any damage? He does. Loki, let me just have another look at that before I can't. Yeah, there we go. Loki is missing his right side end plate, and that is going to make things quite difficult. But as you can see, he's falling off the back of Moller, so he did have 1 tap too many.
So many intervals, such big intervals coming after that last safety car.
We now have that gap. We said we were going to keep our eyes on that gap. It was 13 seconds. It came down to 8 seconds. Now it's at 5 seconds. So SAFRL is on a charge. I think this is going to be another fastest lap of the race. He goes over the line. It is fastest lap of the race. 11.7.
Correct.
11.7. Absolutely flying. This gap 4.5. The tenths are simply dropping away. And Big T, on those 25 lap old hards, he took the gamble of, we have an Alfa Romeo, an Aston Martin, sorry, an Aston Martin.
Don't tell me this is a safety car.
Lap 34, 39, only 5 laps remaining. I'd be surprised.
This
seems like the Aston Martin, no, I was going to say the Aston Martin's got going again, but it is DNF, it is Kratos, but no sign of virtual or full safety car. Hopefully it's too late on into the race for that. Would be an amazing 2-lap shootout.
Can you imagine?
Big T leads the way. Look at the gap, 2 seconds. It's free. Not much longer. He's going to be all over the back of the horse yet again. The car he's been looking at the back of for so long. He's going to find himself in the same position, except this time it's going to be major tyre advantage Alfa Romeo.
Look, I mean, he can get an on-track pass, but I mean, I doubt he's going to get a W on it, because he has got the 5-second penalty.
Yeah, you'd have to get past and open up a 5-second gap.
But Big T is really struggling. I don't think he pitted with those previous hards, right?
That is the hards that he collected at the first safety car.
And yeah, he is still locking up on them, feeling the pressure behind him.
I believe that
there must be a pass coming into the chicane.
I believe that was lap 6 or 7 when that safety car came out.
Yes,
so
yes.
He's been out there ever since on the same set of tyres. And surely at the very end stages of this race, he's having to do all sorts of work on that wheel to keep the car on track.
My prediction is if he can get past him in the next lap, he could actually create a 5-second advantage, I think.
The way he closed the gap.
It almost looks like Big T is holding him back on his ultimate pace. I think there's a pass. Oh no, that's a little bit too far back.
Basically in Formula One of like yesteryear, it was quite an art, to be a really good defensive driver, and sometimes you could keep someone much faster than you behind you for multiple laps, even an entire race. But DRS basically ended that. You can be a really good defensive driver, but if you're at the wrong track in a slow car, there's nothing you can do. But here at Monaco, it sort of neutralizes the DRS.
It's absolutely crucial he gets past Danya.
There we go. It's Big crucial. T holds the inside. Now the Ferrari switches positions.
DRS. Oh, can we get the switch back? Oh, there we go.
I was getting out of shape. I don't think there was contact.
There we go. Well done, Mr. SAFRL.
From the view I had, there was no contact. The horse just got out of shape. And now it's He needs to open up a 5-second gap if he intends to win this race.
Now the push is on. He's
John,
already got a 1 second advantage.
John could lose that P4, could become P5 as a result of his penalty. But the penalty we're watching is It's He. He's got a 5-second penalty. He's got a 1.2 second lead with 2 laps remaining. Needs to open up 3.8 seconds in the next 2 laps. It would be impressive if he did it. Can he translate that qualifying pace into race pace with 2 laps remaining?
Also, True Loki got the pass on Chums. But I do not think that's going to have any effect. He's got 19 seconds to make up in 2 laps, so I do not think that's possible. We've got Pantry Star pushing on the back of John Hannes.
Big T really having a problem there. He had a on the previous lap he lost it going into that chicane and gave the lead to It's He, and on the very next lap going into that chicane he also just got out of shape. So I think those hards are quite difficult to drive on at this stage of the race. Ooh, just sliding out the last corner.
I don't think He could have hope for anything more than that, because that whole slide going into that chicane gave It's He about at least a second and a half.
Opened the door beautifully for him, and obviously he had to regain his composure and regain his traction, and all of that time.
And pushing into that 5-second margin now, 4.9.
4.9, he's almost there. There we go, 5 seconds.
There we go.
Just needs to keep it above that 5-second mark for another lap and a half.
Pantry Star getting very close to John Hannes. I think there's a bit of a battle going on here.
This is a battle on track, but if things finished right now, Pantry Star would finish ahead of John as per penalties.
Only 12 drivers finishing tonight on the brutal track of Monaco. Oh, Pantry Star having a little bit of a slide there.
Big T.
Oh, Mr. M hitting the wall a little bit coming out of the tunnel. Underestimating the width of the track.
The leader has started lap 39 of 39. This is your final lap. It's He. Leads by 6.7 seconds, which means he doesn't have to worry about that penalty anymore. He's done everything he needed to do.
Absolutely incredible. Wow.
It pretty much looked impossible to me when he came out of the pits. He had a gap of 15 seconds, closed it down in no time, took the lead,
and he
opened a 7.
Proved us wrong by 1.8 seconds. Absolutely crazy.
It's up to 7.3. 7.5. He's still going to win this by double digits if things don't slow down. 7.8. Just needed another lap to make it a 10-second gap. So he was able to translate qualifying pace into race pace. And even more. I think qualifying was a second faster, but he's been doing more than a second in order to catch that massive gap. And look at that, almost 10 seconds, 8.7 seconds. He wins by 8.7 seconds. It's He, second over the line, and you've got to say well done to Big T for bringing that car over the line with 30 lap old hards. 31 lap old hards.
I think it just gets to a point where you know, those tires just do not want to cooperate anymore.
Next car over the line is Muller, who will go P3. Those are your podium positions. Next one is John, but he will lose that position to Pantry Star as a result of penalties. Pantry Star P4, John P5, Mr. M P6. Now we just wait for Loki, as the rest of the field has been lapped, so they've got the checkered flag. Just wait for...
Big, massive score for the Alphas and the Williams, though, I must say.
Great score for the Alpha and the Williams, both of them getting 2 cars within the top 5. So good day for McLaren, getting both cars in the points. We had an AlphaTauri retire and an Aston Martin, an Alpine. Lots of retirements on the night, but congratulations to everyone who did finish this race, because finishing it is reward in itself. Top Gun takes driver of the day for Haas. And now we wait for your official standings after all the penalties have been worked out. There we go. Monaco Grand Prix, round 3 of season 5, tier 2 here at SAFRL. It's Ferrari, wins the race, fastest lap, 26 points on the night. Big T, P2, brave performance on the hards. Then you've got Muller third, Pantry Star fourth, John finishes P5. Then we have Mr. M in 6th, Loki P7, Chums P8, Top Gun P9. And making up your points paying positions is Ruben in P10. Just outside the points, we have Rockwell, which is Finnish apparently, in P11, up Magosi P12. And those are your finishers. Not reaching the finish line today, Nuclear Monkey, Kratos, Barblixum, New Avenger, Tyler Boy, and Maggot. I want to thank everybody who joined us on the stream tonight, everybody who watched. Hope we gave you the best camera angles and the best of all the battles on track. Hope we didn't miss too much. I want to thank Sean for joining me as a co-commentator tonight. And
thank you very much for having me.
Everybody back home that watched this live, and everybody who's probably going to watch this later on in the week, thanks so much for joining us. We'll be back next week. See you then. Cheers, guys.